Jeff Slauson here from 19 News Now at the 19 News digital desk. We are going to be bringing you live now to an update from our Kelly Kennedy following an explosion on the first floor of a building in downtown Youngstown. This was at a Chase Bank at about 2:45 this afternoon. Now, what we know so far, 7 people have been injured as a result of this and were taken to the hospital. Of those, 1 person is considered in what they're saying is critical condition. The videos and the photos that we are seeing from there shows the entire first floor of that building blown out due to the explosion. After seeing the explosion video as well, debris covering a large portion of the street as well. From people that we've spoken with that were in downtown Youngstown at the time, they have told us that an evacuation has been in order and is going on for the past couple of hours. Officials have been urging people to avoid the area as much as possible, naturally due to the fact that we are seeing in many parts mass destruction. We are seeing debris all over multiple lanes, and ultimately at one point we had seen first responders working certain areas, looking at certain areas, trying their best to get in and out of certain spots as well. So our Kelly Kennedy has been on the scene, as I mentioned. She's very close to doing a live report now, so we're going to bring that to you right now and just hear the latest from Kelly.
The building exploded downtown. Now, we have been pushed back as authorities continue to frantically search for people inside the building and in the nearby rubble. I'm going to step out so we can give you a closer look. You can see we're about a block away. We are on Market and Front Street right now. I spoke with the Youngstown fire chief on the phone about 30 minutes ago. He sounded extremely stressed as he told me they're still searching for at least 2 people who are missing right now. A few minutes ago, a deputy told me they're looking for 1 person still. Right now, we know 7 people were taken to the hospital and at least 1 person is in critical condition. We don't know right now if anyone has been killed. Now, I want to show you some surveillance video that 19 News obtained from a building across the street where you can see that dramatic explosion. Witnesses tell me they watched as people were loaded onto stretchers and taken away in ambulances. Again, we don't know exactly how those people are doing right now. We know a lot of people have been evacuated. Looking at this building, we're told this was not only a Chase Bank, there was also a barber shop inside, as well as apartments and other businesses. People working in nearby buildings tell me they heard the massive boom. One person who was working in a building across the street said their building actually started shaking. Now, authorities believe that this explosion was related to a natural gas leak. Dominion Energy is on scene investigating exactly what caused this. We're waiting to get updates from fire officials. But again, as I told you, we did hear from the fire chief about 30 minutes ago. He sounded very stressed out. He said they were searching for 2 missing people amidst all the rubble right now. We're going to keep checking in with him, keep checking in with authorities, and bring you an update as soon as we get one. For now, reporting live in Youngstown, Kelly Kennedy, 19 News.
All right, so you heard the latest there from our Kelly Kennedy. We also have a shot that we can look at here from our CBS affiliate, KDKA. They have a reporter there. Let's see if he's talking or not.
As I'm talking to you here, we now know that 7 people were taken to the hospital. Tragically, at this point, 1 person is unaccounted for. Now, we were the first Pittsburgh news stations to arrive on the scene, and when we got here, we were still hearing sirens going, and they have every single downtown street blocked off by city dump trucks so people can't come in. As a matter of fact, there were some people standing a little closer than we were, and the policeman actually came up to them and asked them to move because they're not sure of the structure of the building. So where does that leave us now? At this point, we know the bomb has been called out. We do know that structural engineers have been called out. This will be a very active, fluid situation as there are emergency vehicles everywhere. Now, we certainly have you covered here. My colleague Jennifer Barrasso is on her way here. We are going to keep you updated online and on air with continuing coverage because, look, Megan and Ken, as we know, as Pittsburghers, we have experienced some tragic gas explosion events. This is in the middle of downtown Youngstown, surrounded by buildings. Bomb squads are here, structural engineers are here. We don't know what will happen next, but very active. We will keep you posted, and the minute we hear anything else, we will report back in. In the meantime, live in Youngstown, Ohio, Barry Pintar, KDK TV News. Back to you guys.
All right, so you heard the latest there from KDKA, which is our CBS affiliate. They were just learning information that we have already known, which is 7 taken to the hospital, 1 person unaccounted for at this time. In video that we had that was sent into our newsroom here, which I'm trying to see if we can show you here. We're having a couple of technical difficulties on our end here at the 19 Digital Desk. We'd like to be able to show you what this scene did look like moments essentially after that explosion took place. I'm going to see if I can pull it up there. However, what I am showing you right now is a photo shortly after the destruction. A couple of things we want to look at here. On the left-hand side there, you can see the burnout from the explosion that, according to officials, they say is a result of a gas leak. Let's now bring you actually back out live to KDKA. It seems like they're going to be talking to somebody that was on scene.
10 minutes.
So what do you know? Tell me what you can tell me.
Well, just recently, my husband called me. He's right now in Pittsburgh with working for Amazon, and he said he heard on the news that someone is still in the building and they can't find him there, but the basement's full of water and the electric is still on down.
Seems like they lost audio a little bit. Let's see if somebody will notice that. Oh, here we go. Okay. Let's keep it on there. Again, you are listening to KDKA, which is our CBS affiliate based in the Pittsburgh area, interviewing somebody who had just arrived on the scene or has been on the scene in Youngstown as a result of that building explosion at the Chase Bank. You heard our Kelly Kennedy mention it's not just a bank.
Testing 1 2. Yeah.
In addition to being a bank, there's also apartments. There's a barber shop, a couple other businesses, things like that. So it's not just surveying the bank as far as the damage goes and the search for people. It's also looking at those other businesses and, unfortunately, those apartments as well. Let's go back out live.
We heard from your husband, or you heard from your husband. Tell me what you heard from your husband.
My husband called and said that he heard on the news that someone is still in the building. His wife said that he was in the building. The worker said he was in the building, but they cannot find him. The basement is full of water and the electric is still on down there, so they're waiting for Ohio Edison to come in and turn it off so they can get downstairs and see if he's downstairs.
Okay, and so the last question, you can just talk to me. So when you were standing over there, the police came up to you and said what?
The police came up to us and said to please move farther away because that building can come down at any time.
Wow, okay. And what's your name?
Carrie Nance.
How do you spell Carrie?
K-A-R-I.
And how do you spell your last name?
N-A-N-T-Z as in zebra.
Cool. All right, thank you, Carrie.
You're
I appreciate
welcome.
it. Cool. Thank you.
So you heard there, pretty interesting. She was standing near the building and then was told that they should not be standing near that building at all, and they needed to evacuate the area. This is something, so I've made a couple of appearances today on 19 News, 3, 4, 5, around those times. What they have been warning with the mass evacuations that have taken place, they have been warning people to stay back. And you can hear now from that woman, she was told that standing near the building as well. I'm showing you this view, which is a photo that another one that was sent in to us here at 19 News, a top-down look, right? So this is from a nearby building, a couple of stories up. Look at the pillars. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 of them, okay? The pillars that you're seeing there show the gaping holes that now exist as a result of this explosion, again, that's being investigated as a gas leak. This one here shows pretty well as well. The bottom right-hand portion of the building there, underneath that Chase Bank sign, that's a hole right through to the other side. So structural questions now very much so a concern, as is, of course, the search for the one person that is still missing as a result of that explosion that, again, the Youngstown Fire Department believes is a result of a gas leak or a gas explosion. Sorry there, just thought that was going to be a little bit more information here. Again, for those that are just joining, those that just jumped onto our digital stream here, providing you the latest updates from the Youngstown building explosion that took place at the Chase Bank downtown. 7 taken to the hospital, 1 in critical condition. Going to bring you to a live picture right now as we show you what is being done at this moment in hopes of trying to make sure that this is safe and continues to be safe. And you're going to see, of course, for those that are unfamiliar with how our digital streams work, you're going to see reporters jumping in and out, because what we're doing is showing you the most active we possibly can news product. So what we're showing you is how the reporters go in and out and do their jobs. So we're going to jump in here and listen to the reporter for KDKA. This is, again, our CBS affiliate out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, to hear the latest from them as well. And then hopefully our Kelly Kennedy will be jumping on with us soon, or at some point potentially as well. But again, for those that just joined us, or those that just jumped onto our digital stream here, 7 taken to the hospital, 1 in critical condition, 1 person still unaccounted for. In addition to a Chase Bank, which again, I want to show you where that is. That's this location right here. In addition to a Chase Bank, also a barber shop, apartments in that building as well. And you can see gaping holes that now exist as a result of that gas explosion, or the supposed gas explosion. Again, there's going to be an investigation once we get more confirmed information from that gas explosion. Hopefully we'll be able to see more. Oh, great. Okay, so I think we actually have some video from some drone video or some higher up video. Yep, okay, so we're showing that right now. So this is either drone or from a higher up building. I think it's a drone actually. But this shows the total devastation of this as well. Let me get you the exact corner that this is on here. So this is Federal Plaza in Youngstown. That is Market Street and Federal Street. That's the corner that this takes place on. But just look at the totality of this. And I think the thing to me that is really poignant and really sticks out is the fact that the debris of it covers multiple 2-lane streets. And you're seeing that really well with the drone footage that we are looking at right now. I'm going to get rid of the lower really quickly so you can actually see the totality of this. We were able to show 19 News at 4 and 5 a before and after photo. So that showed for you what the building looked like the last time that Google Earth and the Google Earth truck went by, which was 2019. But still, that's what it looked like this morning, right? And then what it looks like now after the explosion that took place at 2:45. The difference is shocking. You can see where the center of that blast appears to be on the left-hand side there of the building, because you can see some of that sidewalk that's been raised. You can see some portions of the street that have been leveled. And then on the right-hand portion of your screen, I want to point your direction to there, because we've actually seen mostly from that left-hand side. The right-hand side of your screen and the right-hand lower portion of that building is where you can see how much through the building has actually been devastated. So what you're seeing there and what we're looking at right here are those gaping holes that at some point had massive windows. And what we had seen too, I mean, this building seems to be around for a long time, that whole area was covered in by stone and by brick. Kind of unbelievable that we don't hear of more people that were outside of the area. It's a nice day today. We heard from a former employee of 19 News, a former employee of our station, who now works and is based in Youngstown, Ohio. We heard him discuss how it was chaos. And for much of the afternoon following that 2:45 explosion, people were being told to evacuate the area. And for those that have been on our digital stream and with us for the past couple of minutes here, you heard our CBS affiliate KDKA interview a woman on the ground. And that woman told us that she was getting close to the building and was told to get back. They were told to evacuate the area. You can see there was first responders around that spot. So the concern potentially is not that large, but it is still obviously incredibly concerning. This, again, drone footage that was sent to our newsroom just a little bit ago here. We continue to show you the footage from the drone. Want to be able to show you this. This is something that we actually were trying to bring to you a little bit ago, and it just did not work. Wasn't able to drop it into our system there. I'm trying to see if there's another video, but it doesn't seem like that was able to arrive either. No, it doesn't seem so. But again, for those that are just joining, for those that jumped onto our digital stream or jumped onto our product over on CBS here, what you were seeing is about 20-minute old drone footage the scene of the Youngstown building explosion that took place at about 2:45 earlier today. That building, the center part of the explosion, is a Chase Bank. There's also a barber shop and apartments in that building as well. The front facade of the building and the side facade area of the building was at the time covered in brick, very much so a center point of the downtown area at the corner of East Federal Street and Market Street. We spoke to a former employee here at 19 News who now works just a block and a half away from there, was able to get out of the area. However, he essentially described chaos, and what he saw, at least at the time, was someone being stretchered out, or multiple people being stretchered out of the building as well. So just in a couple of minutes, actually, that employee that I was discussing with you, we're going to take live the interview that R. Kelly Kennedy is doing with Alan, who is, again, a former employee here at 19 News, was talking to him quite a bit today. He described to me, at least, what can only be said as a chaotic scene this afternoon. He described, as I said, people being stretchered out of the area and brought out of the area. In addition to that, just the sheer response that was needed to make sure that there was order kept around that spot, but also to make sure that people weren't going into the area or toward the area too much. Because as I have stressed, and as I will continue to stress here, structural integrity is something that is going to be paramount in a situation like this. As you see from the drone footage that we're showing you right now, and as you've seen from the photos that I've been bringing to you, you can see gaping holes from side to side in the building. You could look from East Federal Street to Market Street just looking directly through the building. That's a problem. That very much so is needed for an investigation in some way. Again, in just a couple of minutes here, we will bring you a live interview with our one of our former employees here, one of my former coworkers here at 19 News, who now works in the Youngstown area. I was, as I said, texting him earlier today, and we were talking about just the expanse of the debris that's there. As the drone gets a little closer, I'm going to remove this part here as well. So a couple of things to look at, just obviously the sheer devastation, but let's look a little more specific here, okay? Let's look in the left-hand portion of the screen. You'll notice that is the spot that employees are standing. There's not a single person that's on the right-hand side of the building. That is I believe that's the Market Street side that they're standing on. Or is it the East Federal Street? That's the East Federal Street side, okay, that they're standing on. A couple of additional things there. Look at the glass panes that have been shot out from the side of the building, now landing almost to street level as well. On the left-hand side, you're going to see what looks like a large pad. If you can see that as it starts to pan away a slight amount, but it looks basically like a large pad, right? On the left-hand side, that's all sidewalk, it appears, or the side of a building. Let's just listen in here and see if they're about to get going on the Allen interview, which I will bring to you.
You have levels?
Pretty soon.
I do.
Okay. You know the drill. Just look at me, not at the camera.
Rolling.
All right, so we're going to bring you live now to an interview that R. Kelly Kennedy is doing with Alan Rogers, a former employee here at 19 News, who now works downtown.
Essentially, you go into work 9 to 5 there, you wake up, you go into work, you don't expect there to be a building explosion the moments that you're finishing up your afternoon. So we got to work, got through my day, got to about 3 o'clock around the day. In that moment, went to the bathroom, walked out, felt like a shake, heard a boom. Everyone kind of didn't know how to react because there's a lot of construction going on downtown. So we're all kind of looking at each other, didn't know really what to do. Then the next thing we know, we heard that there was a building explosion across the street. So we all kind of filed out to see exactly what the scene looked like. It wasn't pretty. It was pretty hectic. It was a crazy scene right when we stumbled upon it. I mean, the police had just gotten to the scene. We saw a few people coming out on stretchers, and we saw the entire front of the building exploded. It's not something you expect to see in downtown Youngstown.
So about how far were you from the building?
I was about a block and a half over, so it's right across. We work right behind the courthouse, so I was like catty corner to where the building explosion was.
So you were working a block and a half away, and you felt your building actually shake?
Yeah, we could feel the building shake. We could hear the explosion. We felt the building shake, and then we also, some Youngstown students that I'm in contact with said they felt their apartment building shake not too far up the street from there as well.
Can you just describe how chaotic it was after that? I understand you all had to be evacuated.
Yeah, so we didn't really know what was going on. We didn't understand what was happening. You know, you don't know if it's like a car drove into the building. You don't know if it was, you know, Lord forbid, some terrorist type of attack. But we found out quickly that it was a gas pipe, and then we walked outside. You know, the police, local police officers, Youngstown police, Mahoney County deputies, they did a good job of corralling everyone away from the scene, letting us know that downtown isn't safe anymore. And then they took, you know, I got in my car and went home. So it was a crazy scene, but definitely the cops and the first responders did a good job of getting everyone out of there as quickly as they could.
So we know right now at least 7 people were taken to the hospital, 1 person in critical condition, and firefighters are actually still looking for missing people. How does it make you feel, you know, to hear about such a tragedy happening so close to home?
Yeah, absolutely sad. I mean, words don't describe, like, the moment that you hear the explosion, the first thing that comes to mind a lot of the time is you're just like, I hope it's just like construction. You know, you don't want to see any type of tragic event play out in your city, in your town. So looking across the street, seeing like an entire block affected by an explosion, really, it hits home, and it's something that, you know, you don't see in Ohio. So hearing about those 7 people injured, you know, 1 in critical condition, I pray for them and their families. Definitely hope that they make a quick and speedy recovery, and I hope that they get this cleaned up pretty quickly. So
I know you weren't actually in that building, but just the fact that it was so close to you, I mean, do you feel lucky that, you know, it wasn't worse, you weren't affected, or no one close to you was personally affected?
Yeah, no, I definitely, you know, my first thought is when I walked out, I kind of got chills walking up the hill to see the building, because I didn't know what kind of scene I was getting myself into. You see a crowd of people standing around, your first thought is like, this is absolutely the most tragic thing that could have possibly gone wrong. So yeah, I feel definitely very lucky that the quick work of our first responders and the quick information from all of our local stations like you guys were able to, you know, get us informed pretty quickly and get us out.
You wouldn't think a natural gas leak in a building downtown.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's always construction down here, so you always hear like the loud sounds. You always hear the fire alarms going off if there's some like internal fire going on in one of the buildings. But yeah, a natural gas leak downtown, and that's extremely dangerous. Put a lot of people's lives in danger there. So I just hope everyone, you know, affected directly can make a speedy recovery, honestly.
Anything else you want to say about it that I didn't get to ask you?
No, it was just a crazy scene, and really, you know, hope everyone's good to go.
Could you describe, like, I don't know if there's a way to describe the sound other than a boom, but like how loud it was, what it kind of sounded like?
Yeah, it sounded like, it sounded like a big piece of machinery like fell flat onto the side street. That's how it sounded. And then you got a little shake with it. So my initial thought is like, I've been in an earthquake before. I was like, is this an earthquake? Because I was very confused there for a second. But no, and then we figured out what it was, and it was just scary, hectic, crazy, you know, chaotic scene there. So
that was awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
and wait, I think I know how to spell your name, but just say it for me.
Yeah, ALANRODGES.
So that is Alan Rogers, our former producer here at 19 News, and now lives near the Youngstown area, was just blocks away from the devastation that took place earlier today. Again, 7 taken to the hospital, 1 of them in critical condition, 1 person still unaccounted for. All right, that's going to wrap up our digital stream here. We are going to have much more on this story, of course, tonight on 19 News. Our 6 o'clock newscast is ending in about 10 minutes. However, definitely suggest you still sticking around. And then, of course, we'll have 19 News 7 o'clock over on the CW. That'll be for an hour. And then, like I said, anything that breaks, any additional things that our Kelly Kennedy discovers, we will have for you on all of our digital platforms. For now, I'm Jeff Sloss of 19 News. Have a great night. We will have much more to come, both on air and online.
19 News